Hello, my name is Chen, and welcome to the Cambridge Coordinated Sciences Paper 6 series. In this second segment, we'll talk about the investigation planning question. Sorry, meant to highlight. Next. So for first part of this question, we'll talk about the apparatus or the equipment you'll need. In a rate of reaction question where you're, for example, measuring the rate of gas production, you'll need to measure the time taken for a specific volume of gas to be produced. To measure time, you'll need a stopwatch. To measure volume, we'll need a gas syringe. And you'll calculate the rate by doing volume over time. Volume has to be in cm cubed and time in seconds. To measure mass change or anything related to mass, you'll need an electronic balance. And you'll take the difference between the initial mass and final mass. In grams. So I'll put here G for grams. For plant growth, you'll have to provide the equipment for plant to grow in, soil, as well as a pot and light. To measure growth, you simply use a ruler to see the height difference after a certain time period, which should be approximately 7 days to produce significant results. Next section is the methodology, in which you'll talk about how to conduct the experiment. In this example, if we're looking at the effect of temperature on the volume of carbon dioxide produced in an acid-base reaction, such as the reaction between hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate, you'll have an answer like this, where first we add the calcium carbonate to the hydrochloric acid in a conical flask. Then we measure the volume of carbon dioxide produced after 5 minutes. And for the next section, where we're talking about the measurements, you're measuring the volume of CO2 produced at around 3 to 5 different temperatures. In this case, I will suggest 10 degrees, 20 degrees Celsius, as well as 30 degrees Celsius for 3 realistic temperatures. And don't forget to include the repeating of measurements for reliability, which scores you 1 point every time. Next part is on the control variables that are kept constant. In this case, it's a reaction between hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate. So we can keep the duration the same to 5 minutes. And to ensure that we have the same number of particles, we need the same volume of hydrochloric acid, as well as the concentration of acid. You could even talk about keeping the mass of the calcium carbonate same. Finally, for a conclusion, we'll talk about how to use your results. First, you need to calculate an average to identify anomalies. That's one kind of data processing that will score you 1 point every time. As for looking at relationships between two variables, we can plot a graph. In this case, the graph will be volume of carbon dioxide produced versus the temperature. Remember that the volume is what we're measuring, which is the dependent variable. And the temperature is what we're changing. It's the independent variable. There are, however, other considerations. In certain papers, you might be asked to talk about the safety, in which when you're dealing with acids, you need goggles to protect your eyes. And to present tables, you'll need to first include the independent variable in your first column. We're changing temperature, so that's our very first column in degrees Celsius. We're using 10, 20, and 30. Next column will be your dependent variable, which is what you're measuring, the volume of carbon dioxide produced in centimeters cubed. Next, for an actual exam question, this will be about the movement of water through the plants, and you're trying to determine whether wind will affect the mass of water loss, whether it will increase the mass of water loss from the leaves of the plant. You'll be given several plants in pots and other common laboratory apparatus. First, you need the apparatus, of course, as well as the method, measurements, control variables, and a conclusion. And you could also include a diagram, which is advisable to help you visualize the experiment. In this case, we have two scenarios. We have a windy room, and we have a non-windy environment, so not windy. We're given a plant in a pot in both cases. And plants, of course, will require light to photosynthesize, so I'm going to draw the light in here, as well as my other diagram. And to help differentiate the two plants, we're going to label them plant A, plant B. For plant A, it's windy, so of course you're going to need a fan or some kind of hairdryer to produce the source of wind. And remember that you don't need to be Picasso. You don't need to draw a really pretty plant. Just make sure that you draw a legible diagram. And of course, we'll need an electronic balance to measure the mass of your plant before and after a certain time period. So make sure to include your balance here and simply put everything you've drawn down here into clear, concise points above. Apparatus, you'll need your fan, you'll need your lights, as well as your balance. Method, simply place plant A in a windy room, measure the initial and final mass, so that's for measurements. Measure initial and final mass. Then we need to control the plant species, light intensity, as well as temperature. Finally, to conclude, which I'm going to write down here, we simply have to say that if plant A loses more water, then wind does in fact increase mass of water loss or water lost through the leaves. Okay, so that's just a really quick demonstration of how to do a question. Next one will be on chemistry, on the effect of surface area of a beaker on the rate of cooling of hot water. You'll be given supply of hot water, different size beakers, and other common laboratory apparatus. You need to again mention the other apparatus you'll need, the method, and measurements, control variables, a table in this case, as well as a conclusion. And in my sample response below, I'll show you how we can score all 7 marks. And so here's my model answer, in which all 7 points are included. First, the apparatus is the stopwatch to measure the time taken for the temperature measured by thermometer to decrease to, let's say, 30 degrees Celsius in this case. And I'm going to repeat it for 5 different beakers with different surface areas, as well as 3 trials per beaker to ensure reliability. My table should look something like this, with surface area, remember, in cm squared. This is important to include your units as well as the correct headings. against the time taken in seconds. The control variables are the volume of hot water, as well as the initial temperature. To conclude, I simply calculate the rate by doing change in temperature in degrees Celsius divided by the time taken for that change in seconds. And I could take this further by talking about how we can plot a graph of change in temperature against time. But that's essentially all you need for 7 points. I essentially have more than 7 credit-worthy points. So here, 1 point for stopwatch, 1 for thermometer. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points already for my method, 1 for a table, 2 for control, and 1 for my conclusion. So essentially here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 credible points. But of course, the examiner will reward you 7 marks for any of these 7 points. So that's exactly how you should lay out your answer. The last question on sodium carbonate decomposition, I'll leave for your practice, and you can feel free to send me your responses to have a look at, and I'll be more than happy to give you feedback. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time with part 3.